Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, also streaming on Expert CRE Secrets. I'm your host, Brett Swarts. My new friend here, Barry Mathis. We just got done interviewing him and his full story. So much wisdom and so much information that you want to check it out right now on YouTube. It's also going to be live on iTunes here shortly. But in this episode, we're just covering just the biggest frustration when it comes to capital gains tax deferral on the 1031. So Barry, what's the biggest frustration you, a client, or a partner has faced when it comes to capital gains tax deferral and or the 1031 exchange?
Well, I think stories are what matter. So I'm going to jump into a story. I had a client that purchased a property. He had saved all of his life. He's been in and out of different investment, had done multiple 1031s, and he literally was at the last leg. He wasn't dead yet, but he was in his upper 70s, lower 80s, and so this was his get out of jail. He had sold a property in Oregon where he was a part owner of a trailer park. And so he came down to Roseville. We bought a office building in Roseville. And so he was doing his 1031 exchange. He had been rolling it from time to time. And, this guy just did not want to pay taxes. That was just all there was to it. And we got into that 1031. And I've always been a little cocky. I'm a younger salesman at that point. And I thought, why in the world would you ever need 180 days to close a property? Right? So why in the world? I mean, you got 45 days to identify, 180 days to close on it. Why would you ever need 180 days? I usually get things done in 30 days or 45 days or maybe 60, right? And so lo and behold, we identified that one property. We dropped our others. We're in that property and we're ready to go. And then in the middle of that transaction, we found out that the owner of the property, you might have heard this story, the owner of the property actually had embezzled a large amount of money from Sammy Hagar, who did a restaurant here in Sacramento with this gentleman, and the gentleman committed suicide. Well, Sammy Hagar, this is just my understanding. I did not personally talk to Sammy about this, but the story I got was that Sammy Hagar had instructed his attorneys to slow down the sale of our property, to slow down the sale of the office building, just to mess with the owner's family. And that's the story I got. I don't know if that's true or not. However, it appeared to be that was what was happening. And we took about 150 days, maybe 153 days in order to get our transaction done because of those holdups. And hey, it scared me to death, scared my guy to death. He was going to lose a ton of money. So I would say the biggest challenge is the inflexibility. You think you never need that much time. I thought I never needed that much time, but it almost cost my client a fortune. And so anything that will give you more options in that arena, hey, I think that it's something you want to learn more about.
Well, thanks so much, Barry. And yeah, we call it the shotgun wedding, right? You get engaged in 45 days and you have to get married in 180 days. But sometimes, the bridal parties aren't going to work out, or things are going to change, or timing's going to change. And you never want to be caught with, like Warren Buffett says, when the tide goes out, you see who's been skinny dipping, right? And the challenge becomes some of the stuff's out of your hands, right? You get caught in court. It could be a loan. I did a deal in Del Paso Heights for 15 units, and we literally closed on day 180. I didn't sleep for a week. And part of it was we were assuming this loan for the client. He also was selling a mobile home park in Redding, and he was buying 15 units. And the challenge was it was one of these fixed loans with the government, which typically means everything slows down. And so we had to assume the loan, had this huge yield maintenance on it. And I'm like with these guys a month beforehand, hey, we got to close. Anyways, we close on the day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it worked out. But no one likes to work under that stress, right? That fire drill. By the way, we have a backup plan now, or an alternative called a Deferred Sales Trust. In fact, we just saved a failed 1031 exchange out of Georgia with 128 units for a gentleman out of Northern California. And we saved his failed 1031 exchange without using one of his identifications, without doing a Delaware statutory trust, using a deferred sales trust. By the way, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to learn more about that. It's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. But Barry, for those who want to learn more about you, where's the best place for them to find you?
916-225-7777. Shoot me a text. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to reach my website, it's barry@brokerberry.com. I apologize. That's my email, barry@brokerberry.com. And my website is brokerberry.com.
Perfect. Thanks, Barry, for being a part of the show.